Taurus, welcome to your astrology reading for the month of September. So before I jump into this is going to be most applicable to your rising sign. Your rising sign is how other people perceive you. If you're not sure what that is, you can go run a free birth chart. You just do need to know your time of birth, not just your date of birth and your location. And so it's going to be whatever sign rules that first house, and it does change pretty frequently, which is why the time is necessary. It's also applicable for your sun sign, which is kind of what everybody knows. It's how you express yourself. And then, of course, your moon sign, which is how you process everything through an emotional lens, that internal reflection. And so really understanding and kind of listening to all three will give you that holistic picture on how the month is going to play out for you. You can listen for other placements too, but those are kind of the big three. Jumping into the energy of September. So September is a pretty big one here. It's a pretty big one. So we have another planet that is stationing retrograde, and we're just going to add it to the list. The planets that are currently retrograde, we have Pluto, transformation. We have Saturn, all about work. Neptune, all about your dreams. Chiron, it's your wounds. And so that one's an asteroid, not a planet, but close enough. Then we have Uranus, will station retrograde in the sign of Taurus. So that one happens on the 1st at 11:18 in the morning Eastern time. And so this is sitting in your first house. This is your physical self. And Uranus is, it's the planet of transformation, but this is sudden transformation. When you think of tarot readings, it's the Tower card. When you think of other planets of transformation, this is not an easy one to navigate. And I'm not saying that to create any kind of fear or anything like that, but it's like these kind of sudden out of the blue changes. But in the sign of Taurus, these are meant for your own growth. This is meant to kind of ground you and help you focus on what matters. Think about the things that you value more than anything else. And so this would be as it relates to your physical self. And so when Uranus stations retrograde, it's going to trine Venus in Libra. Now, Venus in Libra. So Venus it rules relationships. It likes to bring things together. It wants harmony. It's the ruler of Libra. So it is all about balance and really kind of keeping things level. So whatever sudden changes are taking place internally for you, I say internally because there's another house that talks about internal, but this one here, it's going to be your external self, but these changes might be happening internally to the way that you see yourself. It's going to easily flow with whatever you're doing in your daily life, because for you, Libra occupies that 6th house of daily life. So this would be anything you do on a regular basis, your health and wellness routine, your work routine, all of those things are kind of in play here. And it's just going to help you. This is a really balancing of those kind of sudden changes. Easy flowing energy, nothing required on your part. Uranus and Taurus will trine Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. And so Uranus and Pluto are the two planets of transformation. Uranus is those kind of sudden, let's just get all of the obstacles and challenges out of your way. Let's just break up all the debris. Whereas Pluto is like, well, let's kill something and bring something new in because it's death and rebirth here. So it's an interesting combination here because they easily flow together. So whatever changes are happening to your physical self, they're easily going to align with whatever changes are happening in your career. That Pluto retrograde in the sign of Aquarius is sitting in your 10th house of career and public reputation. That is really significant here because it's not just about your physical self, it's also about your physical reputation. It's about your career choices. So whatever changes are happening here, they are going to easily flow. There isn't going to be any additional work required on your part to make that a reality. Then we have Uranus retrograde, sextile Neptune retrograde. And so Neptune retrograde in Pisces. So for you, this is sitting in your 11th house. Think of it as your tribe, your group of friends, the people that you surround yourself with on a regular basis. Neptune retrograde in Pisces indicates that maybe the veil's been lifted, that you're starting to see, how do I make my dreams that may be way up here? How do I bring them down to reality? Maybe reconsidering those dreams here. And so whatever changes, whatever sudden changes are happening to your physical self, it's creating some sort of opportunity for you to really have the type of friendships that you want, really have that kind of, think of like your community reputation that you're looking for, because it's not the individual relationships, it's holistically, how are they? I don't know why I'm getting life of the party, but kind of that kind of energy. Like if you're, or you want to be the life of the party, maybe now this is whatever physical changes are happening to you, it's giving you an opportunity to be the life of the party when you go out with friends. Uranus retrograde will also square the moon in Leo. The moon in Leo for you is sitting in your 4th house of home. Leo is a very bold, very dynamic energy, very creative. And so there might be things, and I don't know, I'm getting the sense of like you're doing something out of the home. Leo might be some sort of creative expression out of your home. How do you feel about that? So whatever sudden changes are taking place to you physically, how do you feel about those changes? It's creating some sort of obstacle or challenge here to how you feel, or maybe the way that you feel about the way you express yourself at home. Because there's something here, it's I want to say it's like an uncomfortable feeling, but it's more than that. It's a challenge or an obstacle. You're going to have to figure out if you want to navigate that, or you just kind of wait and let it kind of blow through, because the moon in Leo, the moon changes signs every couple of days. So it's not going to sit in that energy for long. Uranus retrograde will square Mercury in the sign of Leo. And so this might indicate that you're having difficulty having conversations or expressing yourself. And maybe it's expressing yourself through some sort of, I don't know, I keep getting some sort of hobby. The Leo energy could be some sort of creative expression. Maybe you're having a hard time creatively expressing yourself or doing it in a way that really kind of resonates with other people. It is sitting in your house of home. And so these changes that are taking place to you, those sudden changes taking place to you physically, just creating obstacles or challenges here. So there might be something here, the way that you're expressing yourself at home might be a little bit challenged. Then later that day, we have Pluto retrograde re-enter the sign of Capricorn. And so we've been dealing with Pluto retrograde for a little while now. And so what happened is earlier this year, Pluto left Capricorn, moved into Aquarius. Capricorn is all about structure. It's let's come up with a game plan, let's put a strategy in place, and then let's follow it. We're not just putting this in place for no reason. We're going to follow it. Aquarius comes along and says, you're too rigid. You need to kind of loosen those up a little bit or make some sort of sudden change. Uranus energy, Uranus rules Aquarius. So it wants to liberate you from any kind of restrictions that you might have put in place. And so with this energy, so now Pluto is in Aquarius, it's moving back into Capricorn. This is really giving us an opportunity to close out some chapter here. Go back, really think about whatever systems we have in place for ourselves, whatever game plan or strategy that we've put into place. It might be a little bit too rigid. You need to think about what changes need to happen here. And because the Aquarius energy, I mean, it wasn't there for no reason. We're taking all of that and we're incorporating it into this Capricorn energy. And so for you, this Pluto retrograde in Capricorn is sitting in your 9th house. So think of your personal growth. Think of long distance travel, anything like higher education, whatever you kind of see yourself doing from a big picture standpoint, whatever growth and expansion you want for yourself, you're rethinking whatever you've previously put into place, whatever structures or strategy that you've put into place to kind of help you get there. This is the opportunity to kind of release what's not working and maybe incorporate something new. When Pluto re-enters the sign of Capricorn, it's going to also trine Venus in Libra. So when it comes to your daily life and whatever you value in your daily life, whatever balance you have here, as you're kind of reevaluating these structures that you've had in place, it's going to easily flow with whatever balance you're trying to restore in your daily life here. Pluto retrograde in Capricorn will also trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus, which is not a surprise. We just saw that earlier in the day, but it's now Pluto switched signs. And so it's going to impact you a little bit differently. And so whatever changes are meant for your personal growth, it's going to easily flow with whatever changes are taking place to you physically here. And so because these are two outer planets, this energy is actually going to be here for a little while. Pluto retrograde in Capricorn it's going to be this way until October 11th. That's when Pluto will station direct, but it won't move back into Aquarius until November 18th. And so what you're going to be seeing is a lot of changes taking place. And so for you, these are going to be physical changes to yourself. These are going to be meant for your personal growth as well as maybe other types of growth. Again, this is kind of where if you're listening to this for your sun sign, your rising sign might help give you a little bit more guidance here. We'll also have Pluto retrograde, sextile Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so these changes that are happening for your own growth, your growth and expansion, higher education, all of those things, it's creating some sort of opportunity for you to really focus and determine what kind of relationships do you want to have with your community of friends. Pluto retrograde in Capricorn will square Chiron retrograde in Aries. And so for you, Chiron retrograde in Aries is sitting in your 12th house. It's your subconscious. It's your internal self. Chiron is some sort of wound. So this would be something maybe connected to the way that you see yourself, connected to the way that you speak to yourself. And these would be all internal conversations, things like that. And so whatever changes you're trying to implement for your own growth, it's creating some sort of obstacle or challenge to healing that wound. That's actually going to show up a couple times during the month, but it's not, there's so much change that's taking place right now that I'm not surprised to see that kind of old structures that you would have put in place to kind of help with that just aren't going to work anymore because of all this change that we're seeing. Then on the 2nd, we have the new moon in the sign of Virgo. So that's going to happen at 9:55 in the PM Eastern time. And so when this happens, you've got the sun and moon at the same degree point in the sky, highlighting your emotions, really expressing how you feel, lots of really positive things. And new moons are really great for starting something new here. And for you, it's sitting in the 5th house of fun. So this is related to children, short-term relationships, if you're not interested in a long-term relationship, could be hobbies, anything that you enjoy doing outside of work. And so these could be, this new moon for you could be a lot of creative expression. This could be a lot of using hobbies as a way to heal something here, because it is a Virgo energy and Virgo wants to heal something here. So these might be like connecting the way that you express yourself and the way that you feel about something here. It's really, really positive for you because of where it's sitting in your chart. We'll also have the sun and moon in Virgo square Jupiter in Gemini. So Jupiter in Gemini is sitting in your 2nd house. Let's talk about Jupiter and Gemini for a second. So Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. Gemini is the opposite sign. So Jupiter does not like to be in the sign of Gemini, but it's still the most benefic planet, which means that even though this is a difficult aspect, it's still going to be a positive one. It's not going to be negative, not in the way that you think. It's probably just not as positive because it's in its fall and it's in a difficult aspect. But during this new moon, whatever healing conversations you might be having, the way that you're expressing yourself, maybe using art as a medium, whatever is happening here, it is going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge to growing your personal finances. But this is really about the growth of those personal finances. It's not about kind of losing those, if you want to think of it that way. And then we'll have the sun and moon in Virgo opposite Saturn retrograde in Pisces. And so Pisces, again, for you, is sitting in your 11th house of friends, your community. Saturn retrograde is a lot of internal work that you're doing. So internal work as it relates to what kind of goals and dreams you have for those friendships. What kind of friendships are you looking for? Are you looking for deep, meaningful connections? Are you looking for a lot of acquaintances, somewhere in between? All of those things. And so this sun and moon will be opposite that energy. And so it just feels like maybe now's not the right time to work on those friendships. It seems like now's more the right time to really get creative, express yourself in a way that is meaningful for you. Could be expressing yourself with children or through your hobbies, things like that. And then on the 4th at 3:46 in the afternoon Eastern time, we have Mars enter the sign of Cancer. So this is an interesting one because Mars is the ruler of Aries. It likes to take action. It's the god of war. But Cancer is all about your emotions and like those deep, really deep emotions here. It's ruled by the moon, so it's really your emotions. And so with Mars and Cancer, there's a lot of acting out your emotions here. For you, it's sitting in your house of communication. So there might be something that you're communicating. That might be the type of action that you're taking. There's maybe you're verbally saying something about how you feel. It's going to here sextile Mercury and Leo. So it's going to create some sort of opportunity for you to really maybe step out of your comfort zone as it relates to your home environment. Mercury and Leo, conversations around your home or your house. And so whatever it is that you want to do, this is the time to really express kind of the depths of how you feel as it relates to your home or your home environment, things like that. Mars in Cancer will square the moon in Libra. So the moon in Libra is in your 6th house. So your daily life, that balanced daily routine that you have for yourself. However you're expressing how you feel, whatever medium you're using to express yourself, it's going to create obstacles or challenges here to feeling very balanced in your daily life. And so as I've been doing these readings, it feels a lot like when Mars enters Cancer, it's going to be a little chaotic for pretty much everybody. So take that as it resonates. Maybe kind of hide away for a couple of days because it'll get better, I promise. We'll also have Mars in Cancer square Venus in Libra. So Moon in Libra, Venus in Libra. Still about what kind of balance do you want in your daily life? How do you feel about that balance? Again, maybe this kind of outward expression of your feelings just creates challenges to feeling very balanced in your daily life. Mars in Cancer will square Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so this is where more obstacles and challenges as it relates to really kind of that dream that you have for your friendships, the way that you want to have those friendships, be seen within those friendships, that reputation that you have among your friends. And so whatever you're doing to express yourself, it does feel like you're almost stepping away and doing it in a way that's just very different, unexpected. I'm really getting a sense of chaos here for everybody during this time. And so it's almost like you kind of have to blurt it all out, and then you're going to have an opportunity to kind of ground it, bring it back down into the way that you're used to doing it. And that's going to happen a few days later. So we had that Mars enter Cancer on the 4th. On the 9th, we'll have Mercury enter Virgo. I don't know why I can't speak with you tonight. Anyway, so that happens on the 9th at 2:50 in the morning Eastern time. And so Mercury in the sign of Virgo. Mercury rules Virgo. Virgo is definitely about conversations. It's analyzing, maybe overanalyzing, getting a little critical with some of the analysis, but it's also healing. And so what I love about this energy, especially if you are maybe acting a little irrationally, maybe a little erratic here on the 4th, is that on the 5th, my gosh, anyway, on the 9th, we have Mercury in Virgo in your 5th house, if I can get the words out. So this would be some sort of expression. This might be some sort of healing conversation that you're using as maybe your children. You might be having conversations with your children, some sort of healing conversations, because if you did maybe speak out against them, or maybe, I don't know, I want to say like kind of fly off the handle a little bit with your children, this would be some sort of healing conversation. This might be connected to your hobbies or the things that you really enjoy doing, where Mars in Cancer, if you expressed yourself using, like, let's say it's art, you used a medium there, and it was just something that was very kind of volatile, we'll just use that word, and now this would be very healing. And so now it would be switching gears and communicating in a way through maybe art again as a medium, because it's sitting in your 5th house, and that if you are an artist, that would be in the 5th house. And so now you're using that energy to kind of really balance things back out, put things back kind of where they need to be. So when Mercury enters Virgo, it will trine Chiron retrograde in Aries. And so that wound that is for you, it's in your subconscious, beneath the surface here. However you're expressing yourself, whatever these healing conversations are all about, whatever it is that you're doing to heal, this kind of conversation communication will easily flow and will help aid in whatever you're trying to do to heal that wound. And so this is where you can kind of start to see things coming back into an alignment here. This Mercury in Virgo will sextile Mars in Cancer. And so what it's giving you an opportunity to do is maybe express yourself a little bit differently here. So any kind of healing conversation, it feels like you're a lot more balanced now. And it's creating an opportunity for you to maybe express yourself differently, take different action as it relates to your emotions. Or maybe now, because if you feel like your emotions are more steady because you're a little bit in a better mindset, then you would act out those emotions as opposed to something a little bit chaotic. Mercury in Virgo will square Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so those sudden changes that are happening to you physically, those healing conversations that you're having, maybe through some sort of art as a medium or conversations with other people, children, things like that, it is going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge to the changes that are taking place, meaning it's just going to be really difficult for you to kind of incorporate all of it at the same time. It feels like almost you need to prioritize what matters the most. It seems like right now the healing conversation is more important. You can then work on those sudden changes. It does require work on your part though. And then we have Mercury in Virgo square the moon in Scorpio. So the moon in Scorpio is sitting in your 7th house. That is your significant other if you're married, those significant relationships in your life, really that one significant, really more than the rest, because it is the house of marriage. So here, Mercury in Virgo, any kind of healing conversation, it's just creating some sort of obstacle or challenge to, I want to say it's like how you feel about the relationship or things that might be changing within the relationship here. So something is coming to the surface where you're being given an opportunity to heal something through conversation, and it's just creating a little bit of friction here within this connection. So it's something you can work through. You just have to figure out a way to work through it. Then we have the full moon in the sign of Pisces. So this is actually a partial lunar eclipse. We are getting ready to close out of the Aries Libra eclipse season, and we are moving into the Pisces Virgo eclipse season. And so what this means is you've got Pisces will be the north node, Virgo will be the south node. North node is what we need to work on. These are kind of those fated events in our life, those fated lessons that we need to learn. We all have them. They just impact us all a little bit differently. And then Virgo is kind of that default setting. What do you feel comfortable doing? This would be that kind of past life. I've already kind of mastered this. This is how comfortable I am in this energy. And so during this eclipse, we've got the sun in Virgo, we've got the moon in Pisces. So sun really expressing yourself, healing conversations, things like that. Moon in Pisces, how do you feel about your goals and your dreams? Because that's the Pisces energy. And so for you, this one is a 5th house, 11th house. And so when you think about any kind of healing conversations that might be happening with your children, if you have them, or something that maybe you're using your hobbies as a way to communicate, again, that kind of art as a medium for expressing yourself, whatever it is that you're doing here, that sun in Virgo will be opposite how you feel about your friendships and the way that you want to be seen within those friendships and those kind of goals and dreams that you have connected to your friends. And so it's an opposite energy. You just have to find a way to work through it, but you can. And just like with all the full moons, we'll have the sun and moon having slightly different conversations with the planets here. And so we'll have the sun trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so those healing conversations, whatever it is that you're doing here, it's going to easily blend with whatever changes are happening to you physically. Those kind of sudden changes that are taking place, easy blend of energy. It's definitely going to help heal that. We'll have the moon in Pisces, sextile Uranus and Taurus. So how you feel about your friends, the relationships that you have, the relationships you want to have with those friends, it's creating some sort of opportunity for you to maybe make more changes as it relates to your physical self, or maybe embrace the changes that have already taken place, because Uranus is sudden change, but this is also an opportunity. This is going to be something that you have to seize. It's not going to happen just on its own. And then we'll have the sun trine Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. And so these healing conversations are going to easily flow with whatever changes are taking place that are meant for your own personal growth, that 9th house energy. So whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that you want to accomplish, even if it's like going back to school or whatever that is, easy blend of energy here. Now the moon in Pisces will sextile Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. And so the sextile is creating an opportunity here, something that you are going to have to take action on in order for it to happen. But how you feel about your friends, what kind of friendships do you want to have? It's creating some sort of opportunity for you to even make more changes as it relates to your personal growth. Then we have the sun and moon. They're actually in a T-square with Jupiter and Gemini. And so what that really means is that you've got the sun is squaring Jupiter and Gemini, and so is the moon. They're both going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge here. And so Jupiter and Gemini is sitting in your house of personal finances. We've already talked a little bit about Jupiter and Gemini. It's not happy in that placement. So when it relates to any kind of growth or expansion in your personal finances, this eclipse is just not really helping the situation at all, because however you're expressing yourself through your art, through your, or with your children, it's just creating obstacles or challenges for you to expand your income or the money that you're saving, because this would be money that you already have. Same thing with the moon and Pisces energy. So the type of friendships that you want, the way that you want to be with those friends, it's just creating some sort of obstacle or challenge here for you to grow your personal finances. It could be that you're just maybe spending more money on your children, your hobbies, your friends than maybe you would want, something like that. Or maybe it's preventing you from saving more. It's preventing you from maybe investing into something here. Then we'll have the sun in Virgo opposite Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so whatever this expression is, it is creating some sort of opposition energy. So that push-pull type of energy. So as it relates to your friends here, it is going to really have you reevaluating what it is that you're trying to accomplish here, because that Neptune retrograde does want you to reconsider your dreams. So as it relates to your friends and the friendships and just how you want to be with that group of people, it's creating some sort of opposition. You can find the happy medium because it is that push-pull. You just have to find it. Whereas the moon in Pisces will conjunct Neptune retrograde in Pisces. So how you feel about your friends right now fully aligns with the type of friendships that you want here. So it's a lot of, I've already kind of established these goals and dreams. I have my tribe. This is who I want. But maybe the way that I'm expressing myself right now is just creating some sort of challenge here or some sort of opposition. And then on the 22nd, we have the sun enter the sign of Libra. And so the sun in Libra is all about balance. The sun, self-expression. So you can already see a lot of balancing of things out, a lot of balanced self-expression. It's sitting in your 6th house of daily routines. So a lot of expressing yourself in a way that is very kind of level, very even. And so with the sun in Libra, it will trine the moon in Gemini. And so if you do want to do something with your personal finances, how you feel about your personal finances, whatever you're doing in your daily life to kind of even things out, really kind of keep that balance in your daily life, it's going to easily blend with how you feel about your personal finances. It's almost like, now that I've kind of studied things out, I feel good about where I'm at, kind of energy. We'll also have the sun in Libra trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so balancing out your daily life, maybe expressing yourself in a way that's just very even here. It's going to easily blend with whatever changes are taking place to you physically, because that, again, Uranus and Taurus, it's your physical person that is being impacted. And then we have the sun in Libra trine Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. And so sun in Libra, again, balanced expression in your daily life, easily blends with whatever you want to do, whatever you want to change in order to grow and expand here, whatever structures you want to put in place to help you get there. Then we have the sun in Libra square Jupiter and Gemini. And so Jupiter and Gemini again is showing up, but this is about, there's a lot of energy of maybe you're not in a place to really grow your personal finances. It's a lot of let's kind of keep things even right now and let's kind of stabilize before we grow. It's kind of like building the foundation and then being able to grow on top of that. That's what this energy feels like. And so with the sun in Libra in your daily life, it's a lot of balancing things out, really expressing yourself in a very even way. It just seems like now's not the right time to grow or expand anything as it relates to your personal finances. It's just, let's keep it even. And so that's the square energy. If you did want to try to grow through investments or something else, if you wanted to have some sort of conversation here with another person, because the sun in Libra does want to have conversation, you can. I mean, it's still Jupiter. It's still a positive planet. It's still going to have some sort of positive impact here. It's just not going to be as significant as it would be with other placements. Then we have the sun in Libra opposite Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so that balanced expression in your daily life, it's going to be opposite the goals and the dreams that you have for your friendships here. Because it's almost like right now, if your goal here was to expand your group of friends or create a deeper, meaningful connection with your friends, right now it's about keeping things level. It's about kind of keeping things status quo or getting them back to status quo before you're able to do anything else. And then also on the 22nd, we have Venus enter the sign of Scorpio. Venus and Scorpio. So Venus is the planet that rules relationships. It wants to bring things together. It's harmony, it's balance, it's all of the really great things and the positive aspects that you see in relationships. Scorpio energy, Scorpio is very passionate and very loyal energy, but it's almost like once Scorpio makes up his or her mind, especially Venus and Scorpio, until you're at the point where Venus and Scorpio commits, it's not committal. I say that as somebody who is a Venus, who has her Venus in Scorpio. That is absolutely 100% my experience. It's like once I make a decision, that's it. It's loyal. I will not waver. I will not bend unless you do something to me, unless you betray me in some way, and then I will not think twice and I will walk away. That is Venus and Scorpio energy, that 100%. Others are kind of like it too. Moon in Scorpio is pretty similar to that kind of energy, but Venus, like don't cross Venus and Scorpio. If you do, that's it, you're done. There's no going back. There's no second chance there. And so here, Venus and Scorpio will trine Jupiter and Gemini. But I say the Venus and Scorpio thing specifically for you because this is sitting in your 7th house. So this would be that significant relationship, your marriage partner. There's something about really wanting to be loyal to this person and really kind of embracing and coming together and creating some sort of harmony with this person. Whatever is happening there, it's going to easily flow. Now it's going to easily flow, Jupiter and Gemini, growing your personal finances, growing your bank account, investing here in something. This would be money that you already have. And so really, really positive when Venus enters Scorpio, very positive for you. Venus and Scorpio will square Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. And so whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish within that significant relationship here, whatever it is that you're trying to bring together, because you are very loyal to this person, it is going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge as it relates to any changes that you're making for your own personal growth. And this is more of, you would just have to reevaluate those changes. Are you making the right changes? Things like that. I mean, it's a square. You can work through it. It just requires some effort on your part. And then we have Mercury enter the sign of Libra. So we had the sun enter, now we have Mercury entering, all about communication. So Mercury and Libra, communication, balanced communication. It's actually going to be conjunct the sun because it's a couple of days after the sun enters the sign of Libra. And so a lot of expressing yourself in your daily life, it's like a feeling of optimism, like things are finally evening out. I don't have to worry about it anymore. I'm not going to be flying off the handle, being a little erratic with my emotional expression, like all of that's done. This is a lot of even, let's keep things kind of going the way that they are. I like the way things are going the way that they are, so let's keep them that way. In fact, this Mercury in Libra will trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so there's something about balancing out your daily life and really kind of focusing there. It's going to help you navigate whatever changes are taking place to you physically. And so the 6th house energy, Mercury energy, it's not just about some sort of outward communication. It's also about how you're internally processing everything. And so this is giving you an opportunity to really process all of those changes that might have been happening to you physically. These would be those sudden changes that we saw at the beginning of the month. We'll also have Mercury in Libra trine Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. And so now you're also seeing that anything here in your daily life, whatever it is that you've done to kind of really level things out, focusing here on that harmony, that balance, it's going to easily flow with whatever changes you want to make for your own personal growth here. We'll have Mercury in Libra square Jupiter and Gemini. And so those, again, conversations or maybe understanding of everything, that balance that you're restoring in your daily life, it is creating obstacles or challenges to growth, but you can kind of already see why. So it's that stability versus growth mentality. You're in the stability mentality. And so it's just creating some sort of obstacle or challenge to any kind of growth that you want. But again, it's Jupiter. You can work with this energy easier than most others. You do have to work with it though. And then we'll have Mercury in Libra opposite Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so Mercury in Libra, 6th house. Neptune in Pisces is sitting in your 11th house. And so whatever you're doing to kind of even things out, it is opposite to whatever you're trying to do with your friends, whatever kind of goals and dreams you have around those friendships, those connections, and think of it like holistically, not the individual relationships. It is just kind of this push-pull. You just have to figure it out. But it feels like right now the focus here is on creating and maintaining balance in your daily life. So Taurus, this is your reading. I hope it resonates. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.